Greetings, I'm Professor K, and in this short video presentation we're going to see how we go about setting up work folders inside of our Windows domain. Work folders is a feature in Windows 10 that enables you to access your work files from your personal computer or a device while you are on or offline. Anything inside of your synced folder can be taken offline, and you can modify whatever is inside of that particular synced folder, and when you come back to the network and you connect, any changes that you made will be synced up to the main server where the work folders is actually located. That information that has been updated will then be pushed out to all the other members that are also using that same synced work folder. For this demonstration, I'll be using Server 2016 configured as a domain controller. But it doesn't make any difference if you're using Server 2012 or 2016, as the steps for setting up work folders in a domain environment are exactly the same. So the first thing we're going to have to do is create that work folder. So let's go ahead and open up File Explorer. In the left window pane, scroll on down till you come to your local disk C. Inside this white area, right click, and from the context menu go to New Folder. And now give it a user-friendly name. I'm going to call this folder Test. Right-click on the Test folder, and we're going to do a Share with Specific People. And on this next window, we're going to type in Domain Users, and then we're going to click the Add button. We are now sharing this folder with the Domain Users group. Let's say Share. Share has been created. Let's right click on it. Let's go to Properties. Let's go into the Security tab, and we want to make sure that the domain users have full control. So let's edit domain users and let's give them full control. Go ahead and say Apply, say OK, say OK. We have allowed the domain users for this domain to have access to this shared folder on their Windows 10 device if they have work folders enabled. This folder will become the primary sync folder for all domain users who are using work folders in our domain. Now that we have our sync shared folder created, we can move on to installing a couple of roles that we're going to need for work folders. So let's go ahead and launch our Server Manager. And up here in Server Manager, we're going to go to Manage and Add Roles and Features. Let's go ahead and click through this rather quickly. We're going to say Next. We have the right server. And here we're going to pull down where it says File and Storage Services, and we're going to pull down again where it says File and iSCSI Services. We're going to scroll down here to the bottom, and we're going to check the box for work folders. Now while we're in here, if you haven't done this already, make sure that you have the box checked for Web Server IIS, because we will be needing IIS to make work folders work. Go ahead and say Next. And we'll say Next and Install. Once the work folders role, and if needed the IIS role, have been installed, go ahead and click on Close. Brings us back to Server Manager. From the left window pane over in your Server Manager, just scroll on down till you come to File and Storage Services. Click on that, and on the next page click on Work Folders. So we're now going to create a sync share for our work folders, and that's going to be the test folder. So to do this, let's go ahead and use this link right here where it says to create a sync share for work folders, start the new sync share wizard. Let's go ahead and start that wizard. We're going to go ahead and say Next, and we're going to click on where it says Test. This is the shared folder we created earlier. Go ahead and click on Next. Now here you have a choice between using the user aliases or creating a user alias at domain. Now, if you're going to have outside contractors or individuals who are not part of your network using work folders, then you want to go ahead and choose user alias at domain. But we can also use this regardless, so that we will be covered. So if you're going to have just internal users or internal users and external users using work folders, go ahead and select the second option. Go ahead and click Next. We can click Next on this page. On this page, we have to add the users that are going to have access. So let's go ahead and click on the Add button. And in here, let's type in domain users. Once you have domain users typed in, go ahead and click on the check names. Go ahead and say OK. On this next screen, let's check the box for encrypt work folders, and let's click Next. This is where we can confirm all of our settings. If we need to, we can roll back. Let's go ahead and create, and we can close. We're now ready to go back up into the tools, and let's scroll on down till we come to Internet Information Services. Let's go ahead and launch that. Go ahead and click on the name of your server. And over here in the center pane, click on Server Certificates. In the Actions window pane, scroll on down till you find Create Self-Signed Certificate. Go ahead and launch that. On this first page, we have to give this certificate a user-friendly name. I'm just going to call this work_folders. Go ahead and accept the default for the certificate store. We'll leave that at personal. Click OK. With our certificate generated, we need to now bind it to the default web server. So go ahead and click on Sites and click on your default website. Then all the way over here to the Actions window pane, we're going to go to Bindings. On this first window, go ahead and click on the Add button. For the type, let's select HTTPS. I'm going to type in the name of the actual certificate, so it was called work_folders. Now we have to follow this up with the complete domain name that we have for our network. So it's going to be .us.cyberoffense.com. For the SSL certificate, we pull down this window and we're going to select Work Folders. You can now click OK. Back at the site bindings page, we can click Close. Now we need to stop the web server, so let's right-click on your default website. Let's go to Manage Website and let's select Stop. I'm going to minimize IIS. I'm going to minimize my server manager, and I'm going to press the Windows key and the R at the same time to bring up the run line. At the run line, type in MMC. Go ahead and click OK. On this next screen, go ahead and click on File. Let's go to Add Remove Snap-in. From the list of available snap-ins, select Certificates. Click on Add. We'll need to manage certificates for a computer account. Go ahead and click on Next. And on this next screen, you can click the Finish button. And now you can say OK. Over here in our Microsoft Management Console, we can expand certificates, and we can go to the Trusted Root Certification Authority. Go ahead and expand the Trusted Root Certification Authorities, and let's click on the certificates container itself. Let's find that certificate that we just created, and if you double click it, you can go to Details and the certification path, and you can find out information about this particular certification, such as the user-friendly name, which for us is Work. You can go ahead and right-click on the name of our certificate, and let's go to All Tasks, and let's select Export. This brings up the Certificate Export Wizard. Go ahead and click Next. Say yes, we want to export the private key. You can leave everything on this window as default. Click Next. On this page, we have to type in a password, so type in a password and you're going to need to remember it. On this window, we're going to click on the Browse button. We're going to go on over here and we're going to type in / followed by the name of our server. This is going to show us all the shares that are available on this machine. So when I hit Enter, we can see all the available shares. Let's go to the NetLogon folder, and down here for a file name, type in the name for your certificate. Once you have your certificate name typed in, go ahead and click on the Save button, and let's click on Next. This brings us up to the confirmation page. Go ahead and click Finish. And now you get an export was successful message. Go ahead and click OK for that. On the export was successful message, go ahead and click OK to close that. And go ahead and minimize your console screen for your certificates. We're now ready to move on over to our Windows 10 machine to actually set up work folders onto this workstation. So let's go ahead and click on the Start button, and let's go to Control Panel, double click that, bring it on up, and let's scroll on down till we come to the Work Folders option. Go ahead and click that. That's going to launch Work Folders. And now we're going to click on the option to set up work folders. On this next page, we're going to select the option to enter a work folders URL instead. Go ahead and click on that. And here we're going to type in the complete URL for our web server. So I have typed in the complete URL to get over to my web server using HTTPS. Now when I click next, Windows 10 is going to disconnect from our work folder server because the server is trying to issue it a certificate from an unverified source. So we will need to import that unsigned certificate. The easiest way for us to import the certificate that we need is just to access the share over the network. And we'll do that by using the run line. So I'm going to hold down my Windows key, press R, and here I'm just going to type in //DC1. Hit enter. That brings up all the shares over on the server. Now if I open up the NetLogon share, where we stored our certificate for work folders, all I have to do now is just right click on it and select install. That's going to bring up the import wizard. We're going to click next, and that's the file name. We're going to click next, and here we have to type in that password that we created when we built the certificate. After you type in your password, go ahead and click next. And now we're going to place all certificates in the following store. So select this second option and let's browse on over to the certificate stores, and we're going to find the Trusted Root Certification Authorities. Open that up, say OK, say next, and say finish. And it says you're about to install a certificate from a certification authority claiming to represent DC1 blah blah blah. Let's go ahead and say yes. And the import was successful. Now we can go back and we can complete the installation of work folders on this machine. So let's go ahead and click on that start button. Let's go back to the control panel. See if we scroll all the way down here and we find work folders. Let's go ahead and run set up work folders one more time. And we're going to select enter a work folders URL instead. And now I'm going to type in the complete URL for our web server where work folders is actually currently present. Once we have the work folders URL typed in and it is correct, go ahead and click next. And now we have connected and we're ready to go ahead and begin using work folders. So work folders will appear in the navigation pane in File Explorer and when opening or saving files. Just go ahead and click next. Security policies, we want to go ahead and accept those. And we're going to now set up work. Work folders has started syncing with this PC. Go ahead and click close. And there's our new share. Now, the reason it's green is because it's encrypted. There's our work folders synced share, and this is the new share that is available. This came over from the actual server itself. So if you was to right click in here and you was to go to new and you was to put in a new folder, that is now being synced over to the server. The server will then sync this folder with all the other members that are using the same work folders setup. And now when you go into Control Panel and you open up work folders, you will see some information about what's currently happening up on the work folders server. Right now it's telling us that we have 37.5 gigabytes of available space. In this short video presentation, you got to see how easy it was to set up work folders in a domain environment. Now again, work folders is something that you can use for collaboration. So if you've got a bunch of individuals that need to collaborate on a project, you can hook them up to work folders. They can work at home, do whatever they got to do offline, come back, connect to the network, and all that information that changed while they were offline will now be synchronized to the folder and pushed out to all the other members of the work folders container. That's going to conclude this short video presentation on how we go about setting up work folders in our domain environment. So if you have any questions or concerns about any of the information that was shown in this video or in the lab file, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact your instructor, and I'll see you in my next video.